In this video, Lee will be adding in the functionality for the Dequeue method.
Right, so if I can get my cursor there, all right. We're going to need to return a type. So we're going to make a variable called item of type T, and we're going to assign it default of type T. This will initialize it, get it ready to go, and we will return it. Now we need to do some stuff in between setting it up and returning it, mostly looking to see what is the next item in the list. So we're going to do if high.count is greater than 0, then item is going to be equal to the first item in the high list. So this will always return us the earliest item left in the list. So whatever is the oldest item in the list is what's going to get returned from there. But we're doing the check to make sure that there are items in the high list before we try to return the first element. Otherwise, bad things happen. We get explosions, red stuff gets thrown all over the screen, and it just makes for a bad day.
This is true.
All right, now, once we've returned that item, we need to remove it from the list because, as we've discussed, this is going to be acting as a queue as opposed to a standard list. So once we dequeue something, it needs to be removed so it's been just pulled out of the queue completely. You've gotten your groceries, you've talked to the bank teller, you've gotten on the roller coaster. It's time for you to go away. All right. If there is no longer anything left in the high list, it's time to go and check the medium list. We don't want to check anything in the medium or the low list if there's something in the high. Conversely, we don't want to check anything in the low list if there's something in the medium or high list. So we will always check the highest priority list before we fall down to the lower priority list. Same principle. We're going to check to see that there are elements in that list before we try to make an assignment. So if there are items in there, we will get the oldest item in that list, set item to it, and then we will remove that item from the list. And then so that will take care of Dequeue. Make sure no errors. Now let's play with it and see if it works yet. All right, now this is not a static class, so we're going to have to instantiate a queue. So var queue equals a new priority queue. And add it to my using. We're going to make this of type string. And now, just like we did with the other queues, we can enqueue now, and unlike the other one, if I just type in a string, I get an error because we need to assign a priority. let's see, let's do, this is low priority. And then we'll make this one a medium priority. And we'll make this one high priority. And then like we did before, while our queue.count is greater than 0, we will write out to the console cross our fingers and hope it works. So now we added in goodbye first, then cruel, and then program, but our priorities dictate that program is high priority, so it's being returned first. Cruel is medium priority, so it's being returned second, and goodbye is low priority, which gets returned last. Now, if I expand upon this, let's take, say, this one, duplicate it 2 more times, set this one to 1, this one to 2, maybe move this one up here, take this one, paste it a couple more times. And then let's take this one, copy it. Just basically make a bunch of them, move them around. Doesn't really matter where they go. And let's see. Yeah, I'll just leave it. That's fine. Program, 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 cruel, and then goodbye. Now, if we look at the order of them a little bit closer, scroll down here so I can see them all. All right. Now, if we look at our high priorities, program 2 is the first high priority that went in. So it's the first one out. Program is the second high priority that went in, which is the second one out. And then program 1 is the third. Again, it's the third one out. If we look at cruels, or the cruel 2 is the first medium, so it's the first one out. Cruel is the second medium, second one. Cruel 1, third, here. And then our low priorities, which are our goodbyes. This goodbye is the first one. Here's goodbye. Goodbye 1 was the second one. So it's the second one. Goodbye 2, it's the third one. So it's the last one out of the whole list. So as you can see, it takes and orders everything by priority, but it still maintains the first in, first out relationship within priorities of the same thing. So all of that is working the way it needs to. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do in this video. The next one, I believe, is going to be the peak functionality.
Yep. Okay, awesome. Well, with that, that is going to wrap up this video. Thanks a lot.